All right, hi. I'm at last going to do a video for Patreon. I'm not going to let everything be perfect. It'll be 4 years. I'm in Austin, Texas. My name is Tom Friedley. I put up the Patreon account way back in the spring. Haven't made dime one yet. This September, here in Austin, it'll be 4 years since I met I won't mention his name, but pretty legendary in the broadcast business, radio and television. He's a consultant now. And he's been telling me I'm the most creative radio broadcaster he's ever met, ever, in 4 decades in the business. He got a bit bummed when I kind of dropped his name, playing around with videos like this and copying both him and Howard Stern's agents. Shouldn't have done that. But Howard, you're going down. You've got your money, right? So Patreon, Tom Friedley is my name. The brand is Radio Zeitgeist. My tagline now for 4 years has been for Radio Zeitgeist: the art of critical thought in an age of too much information. My pitch to said consultant was, sir, you don't know me, but Civil War is coming. I'm the only broadcaster that can stop it. Radio Zeitgeist. Your stop for the art of critical thought in an age of too much information. I don't take credit for a lot of what I'm able to do. I've become close to a man named Dr. Don Beck. No relation to Glenn Beck, as far as I know. Don Beck, who's been kind enough to let me call him Dad, because he would be my dad's age. My folks are long gone. Don is 83, and he's honored me by allowing me to get up to Denton, Texas, where his house is, and write a book called Stratified Democracy. Here I was a music major. For the longest time, I didn't get the joke. He would chuckle when I said, I was a music major. Then I found that he often uses in his talks now, ever since he brought together South Africa, the imagery of music. And he even has a YouTube out, I think his son did years ago, called A Beautiful Noise. Don together, I'm not going to edit this, Don Beck and a long-gone partner brought together South Africa from apartheid to black majority rule in 13 years. 63 trips Don and Chris, his old partner, made from DFW Airport to Johannesburg, South Africa. It was paid for by John Mackey, CEO of the Whole Foods brand, an famous Austin brand. Got to get with him, write a blurb for this book, Stratified Democracy. It's to be an academic how-to to do what Don did in South Africa. I'm just thinking on the cuff here, with my drum hat on. Still a jazz drummer. So, but yeah, that's the joke, is that Don was using music metaphors often before I was really understood his work, like I had the last several years. We've done 2 or 3 shows together since 2010, and he's become a real mentor to me. But thanks to him, I'm sure we can fix this. Don's doctoral thesis was on the American Civil War. He graduated from the Oklahoma University. He had been, what we'd call his grad advisor, had been a man named Muzaffar Sharif, who's responsible for a field called social psychology. As it suggests, psychology and sociology rolled into one. And I'll be posting stuff. You just go to Radio Zeitgeist Facebook page, or at radio_Tom on Twitter. So Patreon, not this revolution, this evolution needs money. I'm 63 years old this year. I'm barely making it. I was barely making it before COVID hit. But we're going to be fine, but it's going to be a bit chaotic still. Again, Don Beck, with a brand called Spiral Dynamics, brought together South Africa over those 13 years, over 63 trips. This stuff works. It's often called the science of memetics. It's based on the work of a long-forgotten man named Claire. Don thought it was a woman's name at first, C-L-A-R-E. Claire W. Graves, who had been a friend and colleague of Abraham Maslow, the psychology, the hierarchy of needs author, right? Everybody, Claire in the late, well, they're both late now, toward the psychology of being, Maslow died in around 1970 after he had published for the lay reader. Claire Graves picked up the work and did a thing in Schenectady, New York, at the still existing Union College. He kind of did a thing, Don explained to me, that would be considered not so ethical. The teacher who would divide you up into groups in class, and Claire's there taking notes while you're doing it, who comes together by consensus, who goes to the big man on campus, who does a more tribal thing, an egalitarian thing. So basically, Claire confirmed his friend Maslow's work, but fleshed it out better. Don found him in 1974 in a long-gone magazine called The Futurist. So the stage is set, right? Early 70s, Vietnam War coming to a close, campus protest. Kent State happens in 1970. Just mass student protest in Paris and in Berlin in America, rightly so, about the American invasion of Indochina. Here, when things just seem to be going to hell in a handbasket, is this man calling for a great new time. He didn't use a great new age, but no, the best is yet to come. Don Beck said, I have to meet this guy. So he left his teaching job at UNT, basically went out, tried to squire Dr. Graves around, get him published. The American Psychological Association didn't want to touch him. They were enthralled with the humanist stuff, evidently, of Maslow and whatnot. I got to check my notes, but I think he got him published in Harvard Business Press, what used to be called industrial psychology. Claire Graves was one of those once-in-a-lifetime or so singular damn genius. All right. These days it goes by the science of memetics. So 6 minutes in, Radio Zeitgeist. Support our work here. It's very important. I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyway. And it'll be 4 years now. I'm looking for the right national live radio syndication deal. Again, Civil War's coming, folks. I met a guy today who's a Vietnam vet, brilliant, but mad as hell, and he's ready to be on his side of the race war. We can't let that happen. We cannot let this happen. It will not end well. Dr. King, be ashamed of us. Founding Fathers, ashamed of us. That famous Benjamin Franklin quote, he was asked that day by some woman, Mr. Franklin, what did you guys do today? Form a republic, if you can keep it, lady. Or to that effect. Tom Friedley, at radio_Tom. The Radio Zeitgeist on Facebook. And the handle I've been using for months now, hashtag Radio Zeitgeist Global Broadcasting Network. The evolution will be televised, or broadcast anyway. So I'll keep with the radio syndication deal live. I've got Don Beck ready to rock. It gives him something to do. He had to bury his wife of 60 years here the last year or two. I've been concerned about him. I've got to know his son Matt, who teaches physics at the University of Texas at Austin. Dad is real proud of Matt. Should be. All right. 7 minutes in. Let's get it going on. Radio Zeitgeist, the art of critical thought in an age of so much, too much information. Real trouble still coming, folks. Help us head it off at the pass. Western Civ gives us the tools to get past this. And by Claire Graves' work, we're becoming fully human and leaving our phylogenetic cousin, the chimpanzee, and its 6 million years separates us, in the rearview mirror. But we have to get this right. Don Beck made this stuff work in South Africa. All right. He and the work and his long-gone partner, Chris, created black majority rule out of apartheid that had been going on forever. So Don's in my corner. I know the work. Be the music major. I didn't even finish that before he went on the road at 22. And let's get her done. All right. Tom Friedley, Radio Zeitgeist, independent media on Patreon. Your art of critical thinking, critical thought in an age of so much, too much information. Thanks for listening, and thank you in advance for your support. Appreciate you.